Sometimes you hit a dry spell and all that matters is speed. So we're going to talk about how to get consulting clients fast. If you want to get consulting clients quickly, you need to forget about time-consuming, complicated, expensive marketing funnels and instead focus on the only thing that matters. Conversations are what create cash flow. And in this video, I'm going to give you a 1-2 punch on getting to conversations quickly and making the most of those conversations with decision makers. So let's get into it. The first step in this 1-2 punch is to build a list of everyone in your personal and your professional network. Think of your network like a heat map, working hottest to coldest. Your fastest cash flow in your business is always going to come from your hottest relationships, your warmest connections, and the slowest sales cycle you're ever going to have is with cold prospects, people who've never heard of you before. But if you think about so many of the tactics that are taught in the marketplace today in terms of how to grow your business, they all focus on cold traffic and cold connections. There's nothing wrong with that inherently, other than the fact that it's going to be the slowest path there is to revenue generation in your leadership coaching, your consulting, or your professional services business, especially when it comes to B2B and corporate clients. Even when your business is running at a full run rate, you're at 7 figures or multi-7 figures, even 8 figures, over 80% of your revenue will come from the relationships on the heat map that are the hottest and the warmest. So this is something that's going to be true no matter what level your business. So you want to get in the habit of always working hottest to coldest, even in the early days of your business, perhaps even especially in the early days of your business. So let's talk a little bit about building this list and what that looks like. You want to think about everyone in your personal orbit, everyone in your professional orbit, even your professional orbit of yesteryear. One of the biggest mistakes that we see self-employed experts making is thinking that because they haven't talked to a professional connection in 5, 10, 15 years, that they can no longer talk to that individual. Fortunately, that's not how the business world works, and as adults, we all understand how time can get away from us. So you want to cast a net that truly spans everywhere that you've been since you've graduated from college. All the names, all the connections that you have. You also want to look at all the places that you've spoken, where you've networked. You probably have business cards that are shoved inside of desk drawers and are hiding inside of your computer bag. Those are connections that you invested time and money to make, and now it's time to put them on your heat map. You also want to think about your personal connections. You might take for granted that these folks already know you, they know what you do, and they're not your ideal target decision makers, so why would you talk to these individuals? But the fact is, they know a lot of people. You know a lot of people, they know a lot of people. So you want to think about your friends, your family, your neighbors, maybe folks that you know through your kids' soccer team or other organizations that you're involved with. All of those individuals know even more people, many of whom might very well be the very decision makers that you're looking to reach. One of my favorite research studies came out about a decade ago in the Wall Street Journal, and it found that the average American knows 600 other adults. If every adult that you know knows another 600 adults, that means you are just 1 degree of separation away from 360,000 people. I point that out because you can spend years and years and years trying to build an audience online when in fact the personal and professional network that you have right now is such an untapped source of riches in terms of the impact that you can have in the world, the introductions that you can receive, and ultimately the number of clients that you can bring into your business. So building this list is really important. And here is a hack. If you ever get stuck, you're looking at a sheet of paper and you're thinking, I just can't think of other people. A way to help your brain unlock more of this is ask an accountability partner or another business owner, someone that you know, to ask you questions, to be on the other side of the Zoom or over a cup of coffee and say, so tell me about some of the people you worked with when you were at this organization. And what about this? What about the people that you know through your MBA program or your master's degree? And what about the people that your kids go to school with? Sometimes we just need somebody else to pull it out of us. And they don't even have to take notes. Just run Otter or an audio recording on your laptop or your phone to capture it. And then you can take that list, you can take that audio recording, that transcript, put it into ChatGPT or another AI tool and have it start building your target list for you of all of the incredible connections that you have all around you. Step 2 in this 1-2 punch is to start setting up as many conversations as possible with people who are in your network. We really talk about this at Bold House in terms of activating your network. And you might be thinking, I don't know why I would go and talk to these individuals. Either they're not a decision maker or they already know what I do. If they needed my services right now, they would just come to me. And that's a mindset you don't want to fall victim to for a couple of reasons. First of all, chances are good that most people in your network only have a very light understanding of what it is you do, who you do it for, when they could utilize your services, what those services are. They might very well think that you do just this one thing over here, when in fact that's a very small part of what you do in your business and there's a million other things. I won't get into the story now, but I once had a family member tell all of their coworkers that I was in the business of working with cattle, and it was merely because I had happened to mention that one of my clients was the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. So don't take for granted that your family, your friends, your former coworkers, even clients that you worked with 5-10 years ago are really up to speed on what it is that you're doing now. Another mindset you want to watch out for is this idea that you are bothering the people in your network. Generally speaking, the people in your network are people who like you, they value their relationship with you, and they would be more than happy to have a meeting with you. And so don't be afraid to ask for these meetings. Now, what is the point of the meeting? Why are you meeting with these individuals? So I want to give you some scripting that you can use to help you with this. Option number 1 is you can share with these folks that when you've looked at where your favorite clients, your best clients have come from, they have always come through a recommendation, an introduction, or a referral from people in your personal or your professional network. And so this year, you're being a little bit more proactive in educating your friends, your family, your professional connections on what it is that you do in your business and the best kinds of clients that you can really serve and support. You're using honesty, transparency, and integrity in that. Chances are good that's a very true statement, that your best clients have come to you through word of mouth, and now you're merely taking that to the next level. The second option is to reach out to them and share that because your best clients have come to you through your personal or your professional network, you would love to meet one-on-one to share more about your core capabilities when you work with clients and the types of things that you can do for them, so that when they ever need an expert like you in the future, they already have you in their hip pocket. So option A, option B, they both work equally well depending on the person that you're reaching out to. What you'll often find is in these conversations, the person that you're meeting with thinks of all sorts of people that they should have introduced you to, needs that they may have in their own company, a leader inside their organization that was just saying they needed someone like you. And that's why it's so important to be in front of these folks, not waiting for them to happen to find a LinkedIn post that you put out a few weeks ago, but really to be there in front of them, literally in their line of sight, having a conversation. You'll be amazed at the number of new connections and new opportunities that come out of these conversations. All right, that is a simple 1-2 punch that you can use to get consulting clients quickly. And let me say this, no matter where you are in your business, no matter how busy you've been, and no matter how many clients you've brought in and how busy you are, keeping your professional and personal network activated is something that you want to make a natural course of how you run your business. Because No matter how big your business gets, your best clients are often going to come in through this network. So in this video, we gave you a very simple 1-2 punch that you can use to get clients in the door quickly. But of course, you want to take a much more strategic approach to your business development as a self-employed expert or founder of a professional services firm. So what I recommend is the next video that you watch is how to sell to corporate clients. It goes much deeper into strategically how you want to be thinking about getting clients for your business. I'll see you over there in just a minute.